All right, team, let's get right into it. We're targeting one of medicine's most notorious shapeshifters, a condition that can unleash an absolute hurricane of hormones inside the body. Your objective today? To master pheochromocytoma. And that, right there, is the heart of the matter. Imagine the adrenal medulla, that inner part of your adrenal gland, just going rogue. It turns into an unregulated factory, just pumping out insane amounts of catecholamines. We're talking adrenaline, noradrenaline, and putting the body into a permanent red alert fight or flight state. It's a storm that can be absolutely lethal if you don't know how to handle it. Okay, before we proceed with the briefing, our standard protocol, this information is designed for one thing: to help you dominate your medical exams. It is purely for educational purposes and is not, I repeat, not medical advice. Real-world clinical decisions always require consultation with a specialist and adherence to official guidelines. All right, let's acquire our target. So how do you even spot a pheochromocytoma out in the wild? The tricky thing is, it loves to hide in plain sight, mimicking a dozen other conditions. But there are some telltale signals we are always looking for. Our field intel always points to a classic triad of symptoms. You have to burn these into your brain. First, episodic, absolutely pounding headaches. Second, profuse sweating, the fancy term is diaphoresis. And third, a racing, pounding heart or tachycardia. A patient presents with those three together, your alarm should be screaming pheo. Now, to really lock in the key features, we use the famous rule of tens, super high yield. Let's knock them out. First up, about 10% of these tumors are bilateral. That means you'll find them in both adrenal glands, not just one. Next, 10% are malignant. Now, while most of them are benign, you can't forget that 1 in 10 has the potential to spread. That really ups the stakes of our mission, doesn't it? And finally, 10% are extra-adrenal. This is a tricky one. It means the tumor isn't even on the adrenal gland itself, but is hiding somewhere else along the sympathetic nerve chain. We have a special name for these, paragangliomas. So, you've got a suspect. The signs are there, the triad is classic. But listen, in this mission, suspicion gets you nowhere. It can even get you in trouble. We need cold, hard, irrefutable proof before we even think about making a move. Let's run a simulation. Check out this case file. We have a 40-year-old male. He's having these episodes, these paroxysms of insane hypertension. We're talking blood pressure of 200 overall in 10. And during these spells, he gets that classic pounding headache and starts sweating buckets. I mean, come on, this is practically a textbook confession. Now, an eager intern, trying to be helpful, rushes the patient to a CT scan and finds it, a 3-centimeter mass sitting right on the adrenal gland. The OR is being prepped, the surgeon looks to you, so what's your call? Do you greenlight this surgery? The answer, and I cannot stress this enough, is an absolute unequivocal never. Going to the OR at this stage isn't just a mistake, it's a catastrophic, potentially fatal error. This is one of the biggest and most dangerous traps on any medical board exam. This right here is the classic incidental loma trap. You find a mass on an image by chance, and the reflex is to just go in and cut it out. Wrong. You have to prove what the tumor is doing before you go after the tumor itself. You have to confirm biochemically that this little mass is the source of that hormonal storm. Look, biochemical proof always comes first. It's the law. For our patient, the labs come back, and they are definitive. Plasma-free metanephrines are 5 times the upper limit of normal. The 24-hour urine test confirms it. Now, and only now, is the target confirmed. Okay, the target is confirmed. We now move to the most delicate, most high-stakes phase of the entire operation, the preoperative preparation. This is where the deadliest trap lies in wait. A pharmacological landmine that, if you get the sequence wrong, will detonate right in your face. To disarm this thing, you've got 2 tools in your kit. Think of it like this. Alpha blockers, like phenoxybenzamine, are for the pipes. They open up the blood vessels, making them wider so they can handle any sudden adrenaline surge. Then you have beta blockers, like propranolol. They're for the pump. They slow down that racing heart. The order you use them in is literally life or death. So let's walk through the disaster scenario. You see that crazy high heart rate, and you reflexively reach for a beta blocker first. You've just sprung the trap. By blocking the beta receptors, you've left the alpha receptors totally unopposed. All that circulating adrenaline now has only one thing to do: clamp down on every blood vessel in the body. This is unopposed alpha stimulation. The patient's blood pressure will skyrocket into a lethal hypertensive crisis. This is pure malpractice on the boards. So here is the correct protocol. It is non-negotiable. Step 1. You start the alpha blocker first. You give it for about 7 to 14 days to get those pipes wide open and control the blood pressure. Step 2. Only after the alpha blockade is solid do you add a beta blocker to control the heart rate. Just remember the alphabet. A comes before B. Step 3. Now and only now is your patient stable and safe to proceed to surgery. Okay, time for a rapid-fire debrief. Let's lock this intel in. We're going to burn these points directly into your memory banks. Ready? When you suspect a Pheo, what is your best first go-to test? Plasma-free metanephrines. It is the most sensitive test you've got. Biochemical proof before you ever think about ordering a CT scan. What is that life-saving preoperative blockade sequence? What's the rule? Alpha first, then beta second. Always. A before B. Say it with me. A before B. You absolutely cannot get that wrong. And finally, don't forget the company this thing keeps. You have got to know the high-yield genetic syndromes that are associated with it: MEN2A and 2B, von Hippel-Lindau disease, and neurofibromatosis type 1. All right, the Catecholamine Storm has been identified, confirmed, and neutralized. Mission parameters have been successfully met. But here is your final command. Because mastering one target isn't the end game. True mastery is about seeing the entire battlefield. It's understanding how Pheochromocytoma connects to Cushing's, to Conn's, to adrenal insufficiency. If you can't build a single unified decision tree for all of it in your mind, your mastery of the adrenal axis is incomplete. So your mission is not over. Your next directive is to integrate this knowledge. Our adrenal master finale is where we put all the pieces together, where we will complete your mastery of the entire adrenal axis. Mission debrief complete. Dismissed.